Thanks, Red. Let's see what's making news. Buckle up, because on Sunday, some of you might be doing a little bit of time travelling. Well, sort of. And that's because daylight saving time is back. Here's Josh.
Well, say goodbye to that extra hour of sleep you might have wanted on Sunday. And say hello to more sun in the evenings.
Because our old friend daylight saving time is here once again. Oh, how I missed you.
The concept of daylight saving came about in 1895, thanks to New Zealand bug researcher George Hudson.
Yeah, I love researching bugs. Let's change the clock so I can do that for longer then. Please.
It eventually picked up some momentum, and now it's used in about 70 countries around the world, including Australia. So on Sunday at 2 a.m, time's going to move forward an hour for people in these states. But not all of Australia joins in, and some reckon that daylight saving changes can send things a bit haywire. In regional areas, it can mean kids catching the morning bus to school in the dark. Some farmers say it bothers their cows because their milking time changes. And up north, longer days mean spending more time in the heat. And then there are people who just reckon it mucks up their sleeping patterns.
But while it can cause a bit of debate, if you live in these states, just remember to change your clocks. Now, how do I do this? Oh.
Now it's time for everyone's favourite Alaskan competition. Yep, it's Fat Bear Week. Here's Taz to tell you all about it. Hey, buddy.
It's the annual competition that sends the internet into a frenzy. A time when eating salmon is a sport and becoming the chunkiest of chunky is the goal. Yep, we're talking about Fat Bear Week, here at Katmai National Park and Preserve in Alaska. You see, Alaska is heading into winter, and during that time, bears go into hibernation, and they don't eat or drink, so they rely entirely on their fat stores for energy. By the end of winter, bears lose about a third of their body weight, so they have to get pretty good at stacking on the kilos beforehand. And this is what the competition is all about. The public gets to vote on which bear they think bulks up the most. And you can catch all the action online via webcam livestream. So, who's in the mix to be crowned the fattest bear? Well, there's 11 contestants in this year's tournament, including 32 Chunk, who once devoured 42 salmon in 10 hours and is estimated to weigh more than 500 kilos. But they'll really have to chunk up to compete with Grazer, last year's champion. We'll have to wait until October 8th to find out who steals this year's crown. So, may the fattest bear win.
Hey, Sass, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I don't know. Let me have a look.
Wait, not that. That.
Wow.
Yep, you're looking at an X9 class solar flare. These light bursts are intense releases of energy from the sun. And according to NASA, this recent one was really strong. Solar bursts like this have the potential to impact radio communications, electric power grids, navigation signals, and they can also pose risks to spacecraft and astronauts. Now take a look at Nibby, a 2-year-old beaver from Massachusetts in the US. She was rescued as a baby and has basically been raised by humans. But now, authorities are demanding that she be released back into the wild.
She only seems to like people and seems to have no interest in being wild or bonding with any of her own species.
Nibby's plight has caused such an uproar that even the Massachusetts governor has pledged to make sure she is protected. So for now at least, it looks like Nibby is staying right where she is. And finally, take a look at this cabinet. Craftsman Jeff Hanna built this 92-compartment cabinet over 6.5 years. It's worth upwards of $1 million and even has a piece of fabric that belonged to Marie Antoinette, the Queen of France back in the 18th century. But when devastating floods hit Lismore back in 2022, this beauty was found floating on its back and was basically left to rot away. That was until Mr. Hanna found it. Since being reunited with his masterpiece, he's been working really hard to restore it, in the hope that one day it will be everything it once was.
Oh, well, that's wholesome.
Yeah, and we hope your weekends are too, because that's all we got time for today. We'll see you next week.
Bye.